Let us not dawdle, for there are grudges to settle, and new entries in the Dammer's Cron to right!
Howdy, howdy, Snowdevil here, and welcome to another battle featuring the Dwarfs versus Empire. And we have fighting this battle with the Dwarfs is Boss. And Boss, he has a channel. Go and subscribe to him. I will put a link in the description. He is a world-class, top-notch player, and he loves playing the Dowie, and he has a very dwarfy style, which I absolutely love. And this game is going to show something very, very special, which is just how to properly expand with the dwarfs. And I love this game for that reason. And definitely, before you do anything, go over, hit the link, go subscribe to Boss. He's already putting up new. He plays more than just the dwarfs. He plays all factions. But I mean, for those of you who don't know who he is, and I know there are lots of you who keep up with multiplayer would know. But I mean, he was #1 on the ladder for ages in Warhammer 1, like top player in the world. And then Warhammer 2 came along. He played a little bit, but didn't keep up with it, and he's been away from the game for a while, and he's just coming back and sort of knocking a little bit of the rust off and sort of having fun and getting to see these awesome games from Boss. And you can go and see some fantastic games from him. We're talking about doing something together as well, so I definitely want you to pay attention to that. Alright, so for Boss's army, he has 2 Vanguarded Rangers just out front to get a little poke in, and he does have a bunch of Longbeards with 1 Chevron and 1 with 3. That's a very nice spot for the Longbeards because they get 3 stat points for that 1 Chevron. And he has 3 Iron Drakes with Trollhammer Torpedoes, and Boss loves these guys. They can shoot over the lines, they can cause damage to armored targets, large targets, and they are devastating. And they may have the most damage potential per gold for any Dowie unit. I think I'm going to do some of that testing pretty soon. He does have a Rune Lord with the Master Rune of Wrath and Rune. He does have 2 Bolt Throwers and 2 groups of Giant Slayers. For the opponents, he has, I believe, 3 units of Outriders, and they have missile damage, armor-piercing missile damage, range of 130. Is that Outriders? Yep, another one. And he has, for his main artillery, he has 3 groups of great cannons, or no, sorry, 2 groups of great cannons, and a Hailstorm rocket battery. He has, for his leadership, a Karl Franz with a very, very, like, he's not on his normal mount. He's on a, I don't even know what that is. Let's just zoom in, take a look. Well, Carl, he still looked tough, but not quite as tough. Alright, anyways, he has the Stand Your Ground and a Foe Seeker, and he also has Hold the Line, which is a fantastic ability, actually. +5 melee defense, +4 leadership. And he has a Bright Wizard, which has an interesting loadout. He has the Blast, which is a magic missile. He has Power Stone for the increased power reserve and recharge. He does have Fireball, which is his only real spell, and he does have Kindle Flame. So he plans to use that Fireball to knock stuff to smithereens. And for his troops, he does have Rights Guard, which is shock cavalry. I believe 3 groups of Great Swords, 1, 2, and 3, and 2 groups of Swordsmen. So we'll get this thing going. So right away, you know, you get into a battle like this, it starts sort of developing, and this Bright Wizard wants to come in and find a target, pick something to shoot, you know, shoot here, artillery, wherever it is. You see the Hellstorm rocket battery is already firing, coming down sort of on the artillery. We'll see where this first fireball, I think that's a fireball, where does it land? Boom, right after the artillery. So really, you can see this guy is focused on the artillery really, really strongly right now. He's got another fireball going over here, and the cannons are all focused on the artillery. So our Worker Boss is just pushing out a little forward, you know, not freaking out, but just sort of moving his lines out, getting things separated, and he wants to get after this great cannon with his Rangers. And you can see right away, he's going to get some shots in right away. He's already getting some shots in, and this, as an opponent, is going to send the Great Swords out to sort of push them off. But really, these Rangers are going to be able to go to work and get a lot of work done, and the Longbeards can come in and push things off. So Worker Boss just pushing up slightly, making sure he's going to cover this line, and you can see he's got this great cannon already routing, and away they go. And now you can see all he has to do is just aim at the Great Swords, and really set himself up. And he's already caused this Hellstorm rocket battery to change targets over to here, and you can see now Orca Boss is slowly expanding on this side. So not very fast. He really has to watch for these Outriders. Like, he knows, like, obviously knows they're there, but he has to watch that they can't come in and really hit his really meaty. This is what the Outriders want, these Iron Drakes, because they have no shields, and the armor piercing will do a great job. And he's got his Giant Slayer sort of pushing out there, slowly expanding. He still has his bolt throwers going there, shooting at the Great Swords. You can see these great cannons have been shattered, and now he just, you know, reorienting the backside of his army over to here, and slowly but surely pushing up. No rush, no frenzy. Like, this is where I really struggle. Is I want to get everyone into combat right away. I'd be pushing everybody up as fast as I could. Orca Boss is being very careful. You know, he's pushing these guys off. Yeah, they're going to get some shots at the Longbeards. The Longbeards do have shields, and they're going to be all right. Karl Franz is in fighting at Longbeards, and they fight that all day. That'll be just fine for the Longbeards. We do have the Dragonback Slayers. Their Giant Slayers are staying a little bit back, but he's now trying to get some shots on Karl Franz, but he will push away. And again, he's now coming back around this side, wants to get some shots on the Bright Wizard, wants to have a little protection for this backline with these Longbeards. Really slowly but surely just maintaining the backline. Calmly maintaining the backline. Now this guy's Bright Wizard, I don't know, he doesn't have the greatest of stats. 25 melee attack, 30 melee defense. I don't know how good he's going to do against these rangers. I don't think very good. But you can see this bolt thrower has been taken out by the pressure on that from the cannon and the Hellstorm rocket battery. But yeah, the Bright Wizard's not doing all that great. So the Rangers are going to give him a shot in the ass on his way out. And again, slowly but surely, just pushing up to get engaged into the right targets. This is really sort of taking 3 minutes, going not in a big hurry. He's got these Giant Slayers back here, so really he's ready to bring these two groups of Giant Slayers up to wherever they need to be at I'm not going to say a moment's notice with the Dowie. It'll take a little bit of time. But you see this Bright Wizard just getting shot. He's having no problem. We'll just shoot him with the Rangers. He only has 50 armor. That's fine. And really the enemy artillery is focused over here. In come the Reichsguard, and look at the damage they're taking. You got the Master Rune of Wrath and Ruin, and he has his Iron Drakes with Trollhammer torpedoes shooting in there, instantly just absolutely obliterating these Reichsguards. Karl Franz is going to come in, and now the cannons have sort of said, okay, wait a minute, these Iron Drakes with Trollhammer torpedoes are pretty devastating. Now it's time. You can see he's going to bring in his Giant Slayers and find some targets for them, but these Reichsguard are absolutely getting obliterated. And what have they done to the Longbeards? The Longbeards are 72 out of 75 models, almost nothing. And now Karl Franz is getting absolutely obliterated. You can see he's now at 1400 health, and he doesn't have a healer, so he has to run. He has to get the heck out of Dodge. He can't take any more shots. He's got to be extremely careful. And now you can see there's sort of created a pocket up in here, and he's engaged with the Longbeards against the Swordsman. He wants that engagement all day long, no problem. And this Bright Wizard is getting pinned down by these Rangers, and he's slowly bringing in his troops on this side. You know, it's the Great Swords you kind of got to worry about, but the Swordsmen, you want to get into a fight with the Longbeards because you own that fight. In come the Giant Slayers, and the Longbeards are ready to engage whoever. They're no problem. Longbeards can get shot up all day by these guys. He does kind of want to get around, I think, but he's making it a little hard, and now the Trollhammer torpedoes are looking for good targets, and they do want to get those Great Swords. The Great Swords are really... He tried to stop them with his Rune Lord, but you can see the Great Sword is trying to force path through. In come the Giant Slayers to try and stop that. He really does want to defend and protect his Iron Drakes, and he does got his shots on that Reichsguard. But in come the Giant Slayers, and his Lord are going to stop their Great Swords, because he definitely does want the Great Swords on that. And he's again managed to protect this pocket relatively well. They're going to be able to push back and refine their range and get after these Great Swords and these Great Swords. So these Great Swords are now routing. These Great Swords are having a real trouble. They're going against Giant Slayers and the Lord, and you can see they're routing now. And again, he's just picking up. He's shooting at the Great Swords, and now he's going to keep picking another target. The Giant Slayers have done their job here, stopping the Great Swords. And now he's slowly but surely just tightening the noose, constricting. He just wants to shoot. He's not in a rush. Yeah, he's going to shoot these great swords. Let them shoot. He doesn't need to engage with the Longbeards because great swords can beat Longbeards. He doesn't have to. So he's just finding a way to have good shots. And now he's going to shoot at this Karl Franz. He's bringing back the Longbeards. Maybe he'll get a few shots in there. Karl Franz is going to kind of come in and actually get some damage done on these Rangers. Definitely a better target than being anywhere around those Troll Hammers. But you can see this Bright Wizard is routed. You know, these Giant Slayers are coming back into town here. And he's got... He has managed to kill there's only one Iron Drake, but these Iron Drakes are not coming on. You can see everyone's starting to rout, and then that is the victory. So, really, really love this game. And, you know, the build was good. You know, Rune Lord is always going to be a fantastic pick. Master Rune or Wrath and Rune, you only have to get it off twice, and you paid for your Rune Lord, essentially. And Longbeards are great. These guys got a free Chevron. And these guys started with 3, but they're solid: 20, 12, 0, 33, 8, and 6. But you can see, you know, one of the main things that Orca Boss was doing was slowly tightening the noose. He wasn't rushing everything into that front and picking his targets and slowly expanding. And that's often, I know I get pulled apart quite often when I just try to attack everybody and don't take the engagements on my terms. This is a very good example of where almost every engagement was taken on Orca Boss's terms. Like, yeah, okay, he couldn't, wasn't much he could do about the bolt throwers because he had the magic and the Hellstorm rocket batteries and the guns all focused on him, but very little to give up. I mean, that's only 550 gold times 2, so 1,100 gold, and you got a free Great Cannon in there. That Great Cannon is like 800 or so. And you used up most of the ammo from the Hellstorm rocket battery, the other Great Cannon, and a lot of magic from the Bright Wizard. For 1,100 gold, small price to pay. And they got some of their shots in, not a massive amount. I mean, they got 8 kills and 3 kills, not really great, but it is what it is. These Giant Slayers, though, 21 and 58, and you saw how good they did against the Great Swords. Actually, it wasn't too bad at all. Like, the Great Swords were getting punished as it was by the Iron Drakes, but the Giant Slayers did a great job. 8 and 9 for the Rangers. Again, Rangers are just a really solid picker all around. They do have that. Having that Vanguard in stock makes such a big difference. But really, here's the heavy hitters. 20, 24, 32, and really, what were they killing? They really demolished Karl Franz. They killed the Reichsguard. Where's his Reichsguard? 0 kills with the Reichsguard, and he got a charge in. So that's crazy. He got 0 kills, and he got a charge in. Mind you, he charged into some Longbeards, and they have charge defense against large, but really, really interesting. But everything they eventually, essentially, if all 3 of these guys can focus on one thing, they delete the unit. And I know Orca Boss loves these units. Umaze loves these units, and there's, you know, it's something that I really got to get into and start using the Iron Drakes a little bit more. I know you'll see more of this if you watch more Dowie games from Orca Boss. Now, from WWE Joe, he did have Karl Franz, 20 kills. The Bright Wizard was the interesting choice. I like the idea. I know healing is the meta, and you know, to bring a Jade Wizard with Karl Franz, or otherwise to bring Boris Todbringer and some other, because he can heal himself. But 3 great swords, Reichsguard, and 2 swordsmen. You know, these Outriders are always they're a pretty good choice in the matchup. Really, the Outriders have to stay away from Rangers and Quarters, but they were nowhere near them. It just, you know, it looks like it'd be so much easier to do often if it's you watching instead of playing. But Orca Boss, you see, just slowly expanded his flank, slowly engaged his army, and he got his troops for the most part on the troops he wanted to. Like, he wanted to get his Longbeards fighting swordsmen. I mean, that is a fantastic matchup. You can see these guys got 2 and 5 kills. Well, why'd they get 2 and 5 kills? Is because they were fighting frickin' Longbeards. That's why. You know, some of these Longbeards out on the edges, like these guys that got 8, I mean, they probably were one of the ones pushing the Outriders out. All they did was take shells, all the ammo from the Outriders, essentially, and they still didn't get wiped out. So, really, really interesting game, and a nice, slow expansion, and a very in-control expansion, which is why I love it. And I'd absolutely love to hear from you. I mean, what do you think of the build, the Iron Drakes with the Trollhammer torpedoes? Are you using them in your matches? Have you used them? Have you played against them? And just curious on what do you think about the match, the Dwarfs versus the Empire, and how it generally plays out. So I'd love to hear from you in the comments below. I love comments. I always ask for them because it's my favorite part of doing this. And I'd absolutely go over to Rokerboss's channel, subscribe. He's putting up new content, and he does a lot more than just the Dowie, but he has a very dwarfen style, and he is a world-class player. I'm just an average general, but I love the game, and I love playing, and I love improving and whatnot. You get to see a very, very methodical play, and it was just something I really like about watching how Rokerboss tackles a battle. So anyways, with that said, I hope you find it interesting, and I will see you soon.